And without wasting time, we get direct into a discussion and we go direct to a point number one, which is definition. And here, so for the definition, I just want us to understand what are treasury bonds. The first thing that you need to understand is that you should never invest in something that you don't understand. So that is why even before we go talking about the rates and the payments, we need to understand what we are talking about. Never make a mistake of investing in something that you don't understand. And to start with, I can say that treasury bonds are part of the big umbrella of investments that we can call government securities. So this is where they fall, government securities. And under this, we have two major investment avenues that are available under government securities. Number one is the treasury bonds, what we are going to discuss. And number two is the treasury bills. Of course, we'll get to discuss this sometimes later. So they are under the umbrella of what we call government securities. And now let's get to focus on our main discussion for this video, which is treasury bonds. And I can simply define treasury bonds as a loan. Treasury bonds are simply loans. And we all know that every loan has two parties. There is no loan that involves one individual or one party. So in every loan, there must be that party who is borrowing, and there must be that party who is lending. So in this case, for the treasury bonds, the party who is borrowing is the Kenyan government. The Kenyan government. They are the one who are borrowing. Who are they borrowing from? They are borrowing from Kenyans. So, from that point, I hope it is clear that you get to understand that treasury bonds are simply loans advanced to the government by the members of the public. Why would the government come borrowing money from Kenyans? We have had a lot of stories concerning government debt, especially in our country, Kenya. Debt. We have two types of debt. Wengi wetu tutajua tu deni ya China sana sana, but we have two types of debt. We have what we call foreign debt. Hii sasa ndio pesa inaombwa China, inaombwa IMF, that is foreign debt, and we have what we call domestic debt. So government borrows from the public through treasury bonds and treasury bills. So this is where treasury bonds fall in. The government is borrowing locally from Kenyans to fund various projects. Every treasury bond will always have a purpose for which the government intends to borrow the money from. So the government will benefit. Of course, in this kind of engagement, each party must benefit, and the government will benefit from getting funds for its project. The government will get funds for the project, and Kenyans who have lended to the government, or we can call them investors, get to benefit from interest. I'm sure that if you have ever taken a loan, maybe from the bank, maybe from a mobile lending app, maybe from a Shylock, I'm sure if you borrowed 10,000 shillings, you did not refund exactly 10,000 shillings. you refunded with some interest, and that person got to benefit from the interest. The same way, if you get to invest to lend to the government, they will pay you interest, and that is the return that you get from investing in treasury bonds. So, for definition, I hope you are all clear. So, this is a loan advanced by by Kenyans to the Kenyan government for various projects for the government, and what Kenyans get to benefit in return is through the interest that you get to be paid by the government. Before we go to the second point, it is important to note that every investment can be categorized as a low risk. Low risk. Maybe you can have moderate, and you can also have high risk investments. It is important to note that government securities, where we have seen that treasury bonds fall, they are categorized under low risk investment. In fact, you can hear some people saying that government securities, that is the treasury bonds and the treasury bills, are sometimes referred to as risk-free investments. But it is a term that I really avoid using, because it is only our God who is perfect who can come up with a risk-free investment. But as far as an investment involves human beings, I don't prefer to calling it risk-free, but let's go with the word low risk. So this is a low risk investment, because before the government defaults, it means that the entire system, the entire financial system of that country will have gone down and nothing will be working. By the time the government gets to default on its loans, everything will be really bad. And I know you are there, you are saying that you cannot invest in this government because you don't trust them. I can assure you that wherever you are putting your money, may it be in a bank, may it be in a circle, may it be with a fund manager, I can assure you that some of this money is invested in government securities. So if the government was to default today, some of your money will go down, because some of the money that you have invested, you have deposited in your bank with your fund manager, all this money is some of it is invested in government securities. So the moment government securities gets to go down, I don't think there is another investment that will be left standing. And I can repeat and say that by the time the government comes to default, I think the financial system will have already gone down. So all investment will have gone away. So government securities, that is the treasury bonds, are considered to be low risk investments. So there is no much risk that is involved in it. So if you are an investor who, we also have different types of investors. There are those who that we call risk averse. We have risk neutral. This one do not care about risk. And I think we have risk seekers. If you fall in the category that you are attracted to low risk, this is the type of investment that you can get to go for. So it is a very low risk investment. So I hope it is clear from that point, before we have any other discussion. So for the purpose of understanding, I have already quoted the example of a bond that I'm going to use. That is the IFB1/2024/8.5. It's unfortunately that the government is not issuing so many new bonds nowadays. They are focusing more on reopening bonds that have been issued previously, and we'll come to discuss about reopened bonds in future. So right now we are focusing on new bonds. So I had a challenge getting a new bond that was recently issued, and I had to go all the way back to use an example of a bond that was issued in February of 2024. But it will serve the purpose of illustrating all these features of a bond. And it's good that I make it clear that all these features of a bond are contained in a document that we call bond prospectus. Bond prospectus. Whenever Central Bank of Kenya is issuing a bond, they need to give what we call a bond prospectus that contain every information regarding that bond. Now, let's take our discussion to part 2, where we